Hello, it's 9 p.m. in Djibouti. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines. We have the visit of a strong delegation from Italy to Djibouti. The Djibouti Gazelles beat Mauritanians 3-1 in Nouakchott. For the international scene, in an outbreak, yellow fever is occurring in the Ivory Coast. Welcome to our newsroom in the morning. The head of the diplomacy, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, received the Italian Minister of Defense, Ms. Elisabetta Trenta. The Italian Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ms. Emanuela Rey, accompanied by a large delegation to the Foreign Affairs offices. The key words of these meetings between the Republic of Djibouti and Italy were the strengthening of the partnership, many common interests such as combating climate change, stimulating investment, better managing migration, promoting peace and security, natural resources management, economic integration, and maritime security. The fight against piracy were on the agenda. This meeting was an opportunity to relax Djibouti-Italian bilateral relations in various files. There was also discussion of a new partnership that both countries are initiating. There were discussion about exchanging views on this new situation, which offers opportunities to accelerate economic integration and strengthening cooperation. In addition to the officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and senior member of the delegation participating in this meeting. In his speech, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, welcomed his Italian counterpart, Ms. Elisabetta Trenta, and her delegation. This reflects that Italy is a trusted friend country, and this visit shows a strengthening of Djibouti-Italy relationship.
We have attended successfully this morning the inauguration of Parco Roma with Her Excellency Minister Trenta and Her Excellency Minister Del Rey. We are also about to finalize two very important agreements. We have been working on them for now many weeks, not to say months. The first agreement is about SOFA, which is the legal framework within which the Italian forces in Djibouti will have to work. And the second agreement is related to military cooperation. There are a few articles that needs to be polished up, and we are working very hard, and we encourage our teams to speed up the process. We need to finalize those two agreements as soon as possible. Your Excellency, these are introductory remarks. I would like once again to welcome you in Djibouti and express to you our satisfaction of the excellent relations that links Djibouti to Italy.
The Minister of Defense in charge of Parliament, His Excellency Hassan Omar Mohammed, received this morning, Wednesday, the visit of His Excellency Elisabetta Trenta, Italian Minister of Defense, accompanied by the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Emanuela Del Rey, as well as several other personalities from two ministries. On the Djiboutian side were Major General Hassan Ali Kamil, advisor to the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, the Chief of the National Gendarmerie, Colonel Mohamed Jama' Douale, commanders of the Republican Guard, and several other officers. After welcoming Djibouti to his host, the Minister of Defense in charge of relations with Parliament stressed that the Republic of Djibouti and the Republic of Italy, which enjoy historical and privileged relations based on the same fundamental values and an exceptional partnership, must actively pursue their exchanges in the field of defense. The Minister of Defense, Hassan Omar Mohammed, learned with great emotion the accidental deaths of 4 soldiers, 2 of the National Gendarmerie, 1 of the Republican Guard, and 1 of the militaries who died yesterday evenings on the National Road 1 following a traffic accident. The Minister of Defense extended his deepest condolences to their families and associate himself with their grief as well as that of the brothers in arms. The Minister of Defense wishes to solemnly salute the memory of 4 soldiers, their dedication and commitment to the services of their nation. The inhabitants of the District 5 and 6 Stadium City were gathered around the Mayor of City of Djibouti, Ms. Fatuma Awali Usman, the Minister of Defense of Italy, Ms. Elisabetta Trenta, the commanders of the Italian military base, the president of 3 municipalities of the cities, as well as many government officials and elected officials to inaugurate the Roma Park playground on Wednesday, 30 July 2019. The mayor of the city recalled in his speech that on 9 April last it was in this same empty space that the foundation stones was laid in the presence of the various authorities present here, and that about 4 months later the promise and commitment were kept thanks to the dexterity of the Italian soldier and the military support base. The Minister of Defense, who made it possible to build these structures and to whom she paid a vibrant tribute. The city of Djibouti has a free public area for children, including various game towers, slides, swings, and for young people, adults, consisting of 7-side football fields, basketball, petanque. Young children have at their disposal a modern, safe, and aesthetical, pleasant playground. The Minister of Italian Defense, Ms. Elisabetta Trenta, who made the special trip to attend the inauguration, highlighted the bonds of friendship and fraternity between the 2 countries, which have been excellent for more than 4 decades. She said the Italian government is very favorable to the development of the city of Djibouti. In Djibouti, she said. The mayor of the city, Fatuma Awali Usman, recalled in his speech that this first community book is not the last, because the Djibouti City Council has committed itself to a vast programs to develop urban spaces in the neighborhood in favor of young people and children. All the infrastructure, sports and playground will be built in the various municipalities of the city. She said it also invites children and adolescent young people, parents and neighborhood councils to make good use of it and to maintain and safeguard it. The Minister of Labor in charge of administration reform, Isman Ibrahim Roble, received in audience the Chinese ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Zhu Zuichang, at his office this morning, Wednesday, July 31, 2019. This meeting took place in the presence of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Labor in charge of Reform Administration, Mr. Abdullah Ali Mohammed, and the Communication Advisor, Mr. Khadir Umar Khalile. During this meeting, the ambassador recalled the excellent bilateral relationship that had existed between the 2 friendly and brotherly countries for 14 years. He said that both countries have elevate their cooperation to a strategic level. China supports the Republic of Djibouti in several areas, including the financing of airport and railway infrastructure, health and cultures. Under the aegis of the Ministries of Muslims and Affairs and Culture, the famous painters and Rifqi Abdul Qadir Bamakrama proceeded to the official ceremony of awarding the prizes of Jib Art 2019 plastic arts competition. The ceremony was attended by Minister of Muslims Affairs and Culture, Mumin Hassan Barre, who always gives his unfailing support To the artists is Mr. Rifqi Abdul Qadir Bamakrama, organizers and generous patrons of this competition, present two checks of 100,000 Djibouti franc each of the two winners whose paintings were selected by the competition jury. Prizes subsidized on the personal funds of the new patron of the Djibouti Arts and Painting. In addition to the officials of this responsible ministry, the event brought together many painters who had taken part in this competition. It was therefore suspense that kept the entire artistic spheres on the alert, which had just ended with the proclamations of the winners of the competition. For his part, the Minister of Muslim Affairs, Culture, Momin Hassan Barre, took the floor, has indicated that this night is very important. He said, "We agree with the national artists to organize all the different cultures of our country." The Minister Momin Hassan Barre has congratulated all the different cultural teams who were present in this beautiful competition. The president of the Djibouti Ports and Free Zone Authority, Abubakar Omar Haddi, received the Dutch company sales manager, Diamond Shipyards, Ronald Matt, in the mornings of Monday, 29 July, in the large meeting room of the former Free Zone located alongside Venice Road. During this meeting, the two personalities signed the contract for the construction of a shipyard, which would enable the Republic of Djibouti to set up a repair, maintenance and service for large vessels, generating many jobs. This project, which will complete the missing link in port infrastructure, will also boost the country's economy. Fueled by the ambitions to become a key trade destination in the region, the Republic of Djibouti has in recent years installed numerous ports along its seafront with the latest generations of infrastructure. Colonel Wais Omar Bogor, commanders of the Djiboutian Coast Guard, jointly hosted with the Lieutenant Colonel Ahmed Daher Jama, commanders of the French Navy, delegation led by Admiral Oliver Ahmed Noor, commanders of the coalitions of the 33 countries at the headquarters of the Coast Guard in the presence of the Coast Guard and Navy officers. Multinational Task Force 115 is a naval coalition of 33 nations that provide security and stability in the maritime domains in the Middle East and East Africa. It is indeed in this area that the commanders of the Djiboutian Coast Guard and the commanders of the French Navy have had fruitful and constructive exchange with the commanders of the CTF 150, thus highlighted the needs for very good cooperation and collaboration with the CTF 150 coalitions in order to ensure effective joint operation on security and safety in the maritime domain in the Gulf of Aden and the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb. Colonel Wais Omar Bogore, Lieutenant Colonel Ahmed Daher Jama welcomed Admiral Alver Ahmed Noor and his delegations at the outset before briefly introducing them to the various missions and facilities of the Djibouti Coast Guard and Djibouti National Navy, respectively. The urology of Department of Peltier General Hospital, headed by Dr. Osman Said Omar, performed innovative surgical operations such as the one successfully performed on a 2-year-old Djiboutian patient. Indeed, the young boy suffered from the congenital renal malformations and the ureter with difficulties in urinating. The extremely delicate surgical procedure was performed to facilitate urine evacuation through the urinary tract repair surgery in the young boy, a successful operation that allowed the child to repair the natural functions of urine evacuations. Following the expansions of the city of Djibouti, the unions of the bus and the minibus has put in place a new peripheral Balbala quarter. This union initiative follows the observations identified by the union following the formula formulated by the inhabitants of the district in the peripheral areas of Djibouti facing problems with public transport means. It is in this context that the Union of Buses and Minibus inaugurated yesterday a new core of shuttle bus and minibus lines going beyond the former terminus of Anglais. The new line from Harbi Square will pass through the Dorale Road to outlying districts, passing through the Gargar city to reach the terminus near the Mosque Salama. These new lines will also service the city of Salama, but also the neighborhood of Hayable and Warable and surrounded. The inhabitants of this district did not have a nearby bus line and had to walk and ride 3 cycles, as explained the president of the bus and minibus, Mr. Usman Gedi Bouh. Mr. Usman Gedi Bouh explained that in collaboration with the first president of the annex of city Salama, civil society has been set up a new bus line to service new area such as Mosquito Nest and where the inhabitant of the district, the square Harpi. The women's national team was crowned champion of a friendly match against Mauritania yesterday, Tuesday, July 13, 2019. It was yesterday at the Nouakchott Stadium that in Mauritania that the women's national team beat the Mauritanian with 3-1. The success of the women's national team marks the beginning of a new era for national football, thanks to the remarkable performance of the number 13. The team scored the first 2 goals, followed the third goal scored by Mazers, number 9. Mauritanian scores a goal at the end of the match. Djibouti Gazelles dominated the 2 halves after the resounding success of the U14s in Paris. After the men's national team's fine performance against Somalia and Ethiopia today, it is the Gazelles' turn to shine with class in Mauritania against seasoned opponents. Amja Association has launched the traditional Adailu Summer Tournament. Indeed, it was through a match between 2 historical teams from the village that the tournament was launched. Ilalta team against Daradaba team. The match was attended by the Secretary of State for Decentralization, His Excellency Hamadou Mohamed Aramis, who is the players of the Daradaba team, as well as the Deputy Prefect of Adailu, Mr. Mohamed Obakar, who honored his presence for this event. The event was marked by the presence of many guests organized since 1997 in the villages. The summer tournament is in its 22 sessions this year, and it is the 4th successive years that Amja Association organizes the tournament. All the population of Adailu is mobilized to attend this highly anticipated event. The match was high. Both teams played with fair play until the end so that the match ended on penalties as in the previous year. The winners of the Classico is Daradaba team. For the international scene, Côte d'Ivoire yellow fevers outbreak with 89 cases and 1 death. 89 people have contracted yellow fevers in recent weeks in Ivory Coast, most of them in Abidjan, and 1 of them died. The Ivorian Ministry of Health announced it yesterday in a statement. Confirmed cases of yellow fever have been detected in Côte d'Ivoire, mainly in autonomous district of Abidjan. In total, 89 cases with 1 death were recorded. The ministry says declarations of the epidemic have been made to the World Health Organization. He adds, the Ministry of Health recommends that unvaccinated people get vaccinated against yellow fever. This epidemic is occurring in the context of a dengue epidemic in Abidjan. He recalls dengue fevers and yellow fevers are viral disease transmitted by the same mosquito. The vectors control measures that are implemented to deal with dengue fevers are also valid to the yellow fevers outbreak, according to the Ministry of Health. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.